Welcome everyone, my name is Colin Kirby and I'm going to be breaking down the paper ZEUS, Understanding and Optimizing GPU Energy Consumption of DNN Training. So getting into the problem ZEUS approaches, first with the deep learning growth, as a lot of modern applications like vision and natural language processing models continue to scale, the computation demands grow respectively and thus the energy required grows at an extreme rate. Then getting into the huge power demand that comes with training, things like GPT-3, that specifically could consume the electricity a U.S. household would use in an entire century. Furthermore, with frequent retraining that companies do, it can compound the issues as some companies refresh models every hour. And then finally, the cost environmental toll of these practices continues to rise, making current approaches very unsustainable. Getting into an overview of its use, what it does is it automatically adjusts the batch size and power limit to reduce the energy use, the ETA, while still meeting target performance, thus aiding in striking that balance between the ETA and TTA. The framework uses two key methods to do this. It first uses the online exploration to help pick the best batch size despite training randomness, and then also just-in-time profiling to set the ideal GPU power limit with minimal overhead. Together, they let ZEUS adapt on the fly and save a lot of energy without sacrificing accuracy. The outcomes from ZEUS have been pretty impressive. First, getting into energy savings, it can reach up to a 75% reduction by fine-tuning the batch size and the power limit. Also, the time savings can be as high as 60% faster than the default settings, especially for models that are not already optimized for efficiency. And what ZEUS does is basically help maintain or surpass that target accuracy for various workloads, all while lowering the operational cost and reducing the carbon footprints. ZEUS definitely has some clear strengths, considering first, there's no hardware changes required as it works on existing GPU setups with the minimal overhead. Second, it's fully online, so it adjusts its settings on the fly and there's no need for heavy offline profiling. Third, it really just shines on recurring jobs as learning patterns over time for bigger gains, which is needed for most neural networks. But for limitations, obviously, it is less suited for one-off jobs that don't recur often. It needs to be recurring often for it to develop and pick up on results. And so far, it's been really just demonstrated on primarily on single GPU or single node clusters. Looking ahead, the big future direction is really just scaling beyond that single node structure. Alright, so to just wrap up with an overview of what we can tell from ZEUS. ZEUS can cut our GPU energy usage by up to 75% with minimal overhead, considering there's no hardware modifications required, making it very applicable to a lot of real-world applications. It also preserves accuracy at the same level as default training, which is very important. And then just looking ahead, again, as I said previously, there's a lot of room to scale ZEUS beyond that single node structure, possibly incorporating a more multi-node GPU cluster and broader deep neural network workloads. But overall, ZEUS truly is just a powerful step towards a more energy efficient deep learning.